Okay, so you are going to be following along with me in your book on page 482. If I write something down, that means you should write something down. And we are continuing on working on two-step problems, or sometimes they can become three-step problems depending on how you solve. So I'm going to show you two different ways that you can solve the exact same problem, and then it'll be up to you which way you like to use. So first of all, we're going to start with this problem, 3 parentheses, x plus 5 equals 45. Now, the first way that we can solve it is we can use our distributive property. Okay, so that 3 is outside the parentheses, so if I distribute it, I have to distribute it to everything inside the parentheses. And remember, we always use multiplication because we're handing it out. So 3 times x would give me 3x, and then 3 times 5 would give me a positive 15. Okay? And now it looks like just like we've been solving. So I'm going to draw my line down the middle. I need to get rid of a positive 15, so I would subtract 15. I'd get 30. This made my 0 pair, but I still have 3x. Okay, since 3 and x are multiplied to each other, the opposite would be divide. So I divide by 3. Therefore, I get x on this side. And then 30 divided by 3 is 10. So x equals 10. So that is one way to solve. The other way to solve on that same problem, so if I have 3 parentheses x plus 5 equals 45, 3 is multiplied to this parentheses right here. So if 3 is multiplied to it, the opposite would be divide. So if I divide this side by 3, divide by 3, 3 divided by 3 is going to give me 1, so that gets rid of it, but I still have an x plus 5 on that side. And then on the other side, 45 divided by 3 is 15. And now I have x plus 5, so to get rid of the 5, I subtract 5. And then I get x equals 10. Again, I got x equals 10 on both ways. It's just depending on how you want to solve. The first way was using the distributive property. And then the second way is just, instead of distributing the 3, you divide everything by 3. Okay, let's see another example. All right, so number 2, I'm going to show it the distributive way again first. So I have 5 parentheses n minus 2 equals negative 30. I'm going to distribute my 5, so 5 times n is 5n. 5 times negative 2 is negative 10 equals negative 30. Now I need to get rid of that negative 10 first, so I'm going to add 10 to both sides. You can use your calculators on this. Just remember to type in the negative, not minus 30. So if I have 30 negatives and 10 positives, I have more negatives, and I have 20 more. This made my 0 pair, but I still have 5n. Since 5 and n are multiplied, the opposite would be to divide. And then I get n equals, and negative divided by a positive is a negative, and 20 divided by 5 is 4. So n equals negative 4. Now the other way to do it, and I'm going to show my work up here, is 5 times n minus 2 equals negative 30. Okay, since 5 is multiplied to the parentheses, in order to get rid of it, I would divide both sides. I get n minus 2 equals a negative divided by a positive is a negative, and 30 divided by 5 is 6. So now I have n minus 2. In order to get rid of the minus 2, I would add 2. I have 6 negatives, 2 positives. I have more negatives, and then I have 4 more. So n equals negative 4, which is again what I got the first time. So I want you to pause the video and I want you to try A, B, and C by yourself. I would maybe suggest try A and then push play, see if you get the same answer as me. Then go ahead and do B, push play, see if you get the answer as me. Do C, see if you get the same answer as me. That way you're checking it each time you do a problem and you don't get done with all three and have to fix them. Okay? I'm going to choose to kind of do it both ways. So I'm going to do A with the distributive property. So 2 times x is going to be 2x. 2 times 4 is 8, and that still equals 20. I have a plus 8, so in order to get rid of it, I'm going to subtract 8. This would give me a 0 pair. I have 2x equals 12. Since 2 and x are multiplied, the opposite would be to divide. So then I get x equals 12 divided by 2 is 6. So for A, you should have got x equals 6. For B, I'm going to use the other method. So 3 is multiplied to that parentheses. So in order to get rid of the 3, I would divide by 3. What you do to one side, you always have to do to the other. I would still have B minus 6. And then 12 divided by 3 is 4. It's B minus 6, so in order to get rid of the minus, I would add 6. So then I get B equals 10 for B. And for C, I'm going to go back to the distributive property. I think most of you will probably like that one the best. So a negative 7 times a positive 6 is going to be a negative 42. A negative 7 times D is going to be a negative 7D equals 49. Okay, I have a negative 42, so in order to get rid of it, I'm going to add 42. Made a 0 pair. I still have a negative 7D on this side. Don't forget the negative. And then 49 plus 42, let's see, is 91. Divide by negative 7, divide by negative 7. D equals 13. And it should be a negative because a positive divided by a negative is a negative. So D equals negative 13. I had a student ask a really good question yesterday. Do we have to write D equals? Yes, I want you to write D equals because very shortly we're not going to be using equal signs. So it's always important that we label it correctly. So yes, if you did not write all the x equals, the b equals, or the d equals, please write that in now.